Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of the RWT.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. My name is Mike Larkin. He's Daniel Crimmins. He's Paul Morales, and we are the Raw Wrestling Talk RWT podcast. And it has been a week. I hope everybody is having a good start thus far to their 2026. I know a lot's been going on, so we're here to give you some joy with everything that has been going on in the world. We are the ones here to bring you some laughter and fun and entertainment. And I think
it is our first show of 2026, and we are back on our bullshit, folks.
Exactly. All right. So
they are. I am not. I am going to be legit this year. I am going to.
He never got off his bullshit.
Try and be. Oh, okay. And then I am going to try and be the comedy between these two knuckleheads because obviously I'm the funny one.
Yeah. Okay. Very much so. Good Lord. All right. So let's get into.
Bro, see, look, I make them laugh. See, that's what I do. I am the funny one. I bring the lightness, the just joy to you guys every time we do this.
Bro.
Oh.
I bring the energy. Everybody else just kind of like.
You bring the something, that's for sure.
What did you?
Okay.
What did you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't bring the hookers this time. That was supposed to be
Mike's job.
That was your doing, DC. That was supposed to be your doing.
I got one question. What did you want to be when you grow up? I wanted to be a magician. And what do you do now? I operate a pornographic website. I guess that makes me happy.
I went in the wrong
direction.
I went the wrong direction on that one.
I wanted to be a ping pong champion.
Mr. Deeds is so underrated. Oh, okay. So
actually, let me start off with this. I want to send a huge congratulations to one Denise Salcedo because I just found out that she is actually going to host her own podcast live for the first time in Las Vegas at Circa April 17th at 12 noon. And guess what motherfucker's going to be there? Bam! My wife and I already just told her. I just sent her a message. Just said, hey, guess what? Look at what Denise is going to do. Shout out to our girl, Denise.
Shout out to
Denise. Lots of love. And we will be there. Well, at least I will. I don't know about these knuckleheads, but, hey. I've told them that they have a place to stay in Vegas, but if they don't want to come, hey, that's fine by me. Guess what? More Denise for me. And I don't mean it like that. Don't be perverts.
Fine. No, not us.
No, but congratulations, girl. I'm so happy for you. We will have the picture somewhere around here, but hey, we may have already posted it, but congratulations again, and I will see you in Vegas April 17th.
Yeah, Denise. All right now. Well, I will say this. We all have a lot of topics to discuss, and I'll start it off with this one. So my first topic, as we each have three, and then we'll get into our main ones, folks. It was just recently announced, and I have to put this into the forefront because I think it's awesome. TNA has their first show on AMC this Thursday, the 15th. It has been announced that AJ Styles will be appearing on that first episode. Hell yes.
Get ready. AJ Styles.
When you think of where TNA has come with their networks, I think initially Impact was TNN or Spike TV, if I'm not mistaken.
It was originally on Fox Sports Network, then it went to Spike
FS1, then it went to Spike TV, then it was on the preview channel back in the day.
Yeah, Destination America, then Pop.
Yeah, it was Destination America, then it was on every other freaking channel on cable that nobody got.
Yeah.
Pop, Twitch, and then Access. Yep.
Yeah.
And I could not be more excited for them. And now, especially with, all the roster change-ups with New Japan, we got Sonata, Evil are both said to be kind of, and David Finlay, although I think he's probably going to NXT.
Yeah, with his brother.
His dad and his older brother, Hornswoggle. But no, I would not be shocked to see Evil end up in TNA. I think he would be a huge asset for them. And Sonata, his previous TNA run was amazing. We know what he can do.
Oh my God, the matches with James Storm and the Great Muda and him as the X Division champ in 2014, hell yeah.
And they need star power, and I think that would be a huge asset for them. And we've both said, the three of us have all said, don't sleep on TNA.
It's one of those things, man, with the relationship and even just them as their own individual entity. They've always, they're in business over 24 years now, so they must be doing something right. And also, number two, they continue to grow. You see a lot of people going over there now, and their roster is so incredibly talented. And it's such a hand in glove for AJ Styles to be there. Personally, we've said it many a times. He definitely has to have a match in TNA this year. Mike Santana, Kaz, Leon Slater, just to name a few. So I will start as well with you on this, Dan. What do you think AJ is going to be doing this week? What are we thinking? What are we aiming for?
Realistically, I think we're going to get the appearance, maybe, something, maybe setting up for some kind of match, down the line. I would love to see him at Bound for Glory. I think that would be a great place to have a match. Maybe
that's a place we've mentioned before. You mentioned before, so.
Yep. Leon Slater and AJ, I think, would be fucking incredible. Which, just going to Leon Slater from a moment, dude is 21 years old, and he had that amazing match with Obafemi.
Yep.
And he had that tag team match with him, Javon Evans versus AJ and Dragon Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the fact that he is 21 and he is this good. Sky's the limit for the kid.
Sky's the limit, yeah.
And you'll love to see it. And the passion that he has, like, he's going to be a world champion at some point. Like, it's not if, it's when.
So, Paul, your thoughts on AJ Styles going to AMC this Thursday night?
I think if you look at AJ Styles as a whole in his body, he's literally one of the pillars of TNA. He is literally a cornerstone of TNA, much like Samoa Joe, much like Frankie Kazarian, much like Christopher Daniels.
AMW.
All of them. Just from the four of those that I just mentioned. The other three aside from AJ. You look at from where TNA started. Jeff Jarrett was pretty much the groundwork for the company, but going through the years, you look at everybody who's come through there and everybody who has developed through there. You got Kurt Angle, who left WWE to go to TNA. We're not going to talk about the Hulk Hogan years because a lot of that was just a bunch of garbage.
Fuck the Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about that genuine, pure wrestling style that they had. TNA, total nonstop action wrestling, was just energy personified. We all know one Constant Creed, went through there. You know who I'm talking about.
Creed, baby.
Yeah, Conscience Creed. You know who went through there, man. One Xavier Woods, man. He knows what it's like to go through there. He's lived through that. So again, another guy who was part of that beginning of TNA. And R-Truth, one of the first black NWA world champions.
I think he was the first.
I think he was the first. Yeah, I believe he was. Yeah. So, but all I'm saying is like you look at everything that can happen in TNA. You can get him facing Mike Santana. You already mentioned Leon Slater.
Kaz.
You can go back to him and Frankie Kazarian. Him and Steve Macklin. Ooh, that would be a good one too.
Him and Nick Nemeth.
But you can have those matches and see what happens there. And putting that face back in TNA would send so much energy back to TNA, especially it going to AMC. Give it to us. Give it to us, the fans.
I agree, man. I always said this, and like had Dan mentioned, it first was originally on Fox Sports Net. For those that don't remember, back in the day, that used to air on Fridays at like 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the afternoon, to where it is now. And also the fact, like to go on your point about Kurt Angle, even before that in 05 when Christian Cage came in, and that was an even big deal before Kurt. So many people
Team 3D.
Team 3D, yes, same year, exactly. But that's the thing. We have so many people that really showcase and emphasize the legacy of TNA. And now with everything going on, congratulations once more to them on AMC. And another congratulations are in order because the second topic that I wanted to bring to the show is we now have a new NXT Women's North American Champion. So Thea Hale got taken out by Blake Monroe, who was then ejected from the building as they were supposed to have a match that night. Thea Hale's like, I'm going to still continue and fight because she's a grown-ass woman. And then she did the open challenge, and then everybody came out. Tatum Paxley had the chainsaw. I'll skin your ass raw to quote Limp Bizkit. But then Izzy Dame comes from behind, and she gets in the ring, and then we have our match, and it's Izzy Dame and Thea Hale. Thea tries to fight through the pain, but then she gets the Dame over off the rope, the sky high for the 1-2-3, and Izzy Dame has won her first ever championship in NXT. She is the new NXT Women's North American Champion. I like Izzy Dame. I look forward to the feud with Tatum continuing, and it was nice to see Thea get her shine. So this one, I'll start with Paul. Your thoughts on Izzy Dame winning the Women's North American title?
I think it was very, very shocking, but I also believe with some recent transactions, which we will get to later on in the show. I think it's good for her because now you could put Blake in that main card position. Mm-hmm. You know, now she's in that she's the top tier in the company, which she should have been there all along. But I get it. You want to allow her the opportunity to get familiar with what WWE does. On that note, going back to Izzy Dane, God, that's a girl that has worked her butt off and has done so much good work over the last year. In 2025, she did so much good work with the calling and then everything with Tatum Paxley and, you know, just in ring wise, she's amazing from where she started at to now. Oh my God, it's like night and day. And watching her in the ring is such a breath of fresh air for everybody. And I'm so happy for her. But at the same time, I don't want Tatum Paxley to kind of take a roll backwards because she was just women's champion.
Yep.
And I don't want her to take that position backwards to not be in that position again. Especially with, like I said, recent transactions, which we will get to later, but it's good for her, and hopefully it's another stepping stone to maybe Thea Hale getting it back, maybe Kalani Jordan getting it back. You know, maybe that puts Kalani Jordan in a different, you know, moves her up. We don't know. We don't know what the next stages for NXT are, but I am here for it. And congratulations to Izzy Dane. Let's just see what 2026 brings for all these women.
I'm with you just because of the fact, like, this is a woman, like you mentioned, her worked her butt off. She kind of felt like she was just there. And then once the TNA working relationship started, you saw her wrestling in TNA against Jordan Grace for the Knockouts title. You saw her on the Impact shows and the televised broadcasts. And then you see the Cullen was the best thing to happen to her because it gave her that edge. It gave her to be cunning, conniving, but also you have this badass with guys like Sean Spears and Nico Vance. So it really helped the overall presentation. And I, like you, am very happy to see her win the title. And I look forward to seeing who is presented to go against her next. Now, Daniel Crimmins, your thoughts on Izzy Dane beating Thea Hale for the North American title?
It was definitely a shocking moment. You know, I think we all just assumed that, oh, hey, Blake's going to get the title back at some point.
Yep.
There are rumors that, you know, she's already being fast tracked for a call up, you know, which would not shock me in the slightest. But big picture, this makes the women's North American title matter again. Like, it's kind of just been, it's been there, like, and I think, you know, because you have that kind of like that three-way go for it. You have Thea Hale, who, you know, can say, hey, they can never say, hey, you didn't beat me when I was 100%.
Right.
You know, it makes her the sympathetic baby face even more than she already was. You have Tatum Paxley, who still got that beef with Izzy Dane. So you got you could run this easily until Stand and Deliver.
Mm-hmm.
Easily. I would not be shocked if it goes that route. There's also the rumor that JC Jane is, not long for NXT at this point, which then what do you do? Do you have Thea Hale stay in that picture, or do you move her up? Because, we talk about Izzy Dame and how hard she has worked. We also got to give kudos to Thea Hale.
Oh, absolutely. Being signed as 18, yeah.
When she was with Chase U, she was more or less an afterthought there.
Yeah. She was the comedy father.
Exactly. But now it was cool. Like, it was cool to see. And Izzy Dame, she plays her character so fucking well. Like, she plays that kind of that bitch just so well. And like, you see videos of her meeting fans, and it's like the total opposite.
It is what it is, as she says.
Like, so I'm excited to see where she goes. But like Paul, you'd mentioned the calling was the best place for her. I would compare it to what the Judgment Day did for Dominic Mysterio.
That's a good comparison. Absolutely.
Sometimes someone just needs that little push.
Yep.
And it pays off. Look at Dirty Dom. He's now one of the biggest stars on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
You love to hate the guy.
Paul rocking the Dirty Dom t-shirt. Hell yeah. And speaking of someone that you love to hate, because a lot of people love to hate him in NXT, and this is my other topic I'd like to discuss here for the show. Two people who are now done with WWE, one looking to be done. One of them was Brindley Reese, who had been an Evolve, and she was with Malik and Idris Enofe, who Malik Blade is still there, but Idris Enofe is no longer in WWE. She had been injured, and she was going through some personal health stuff, so we wish nothing but the best and love to Brindley Reese, as she has now exited the WWE. But another name that came into fruition, we saw after his match with Ilya Dragunov, and we see Gargano doing his thing mostly with Candice now on that front. Tommaso Ciampa looks to be heading out of WWE when his contract is not renewed, it expires, what have you. He looks to be out. Personally, if I was to pick, if he goes to AEW, I could see him doing some stuff in Ring of Honor. And there are some people, and he can wrestle in AEW. But if I'm being completely honest here, I'd love to see what he could do in TNA. The matches like with Steve Macklin, or the matches with anybody, just in general, the Santanas. But good.
The issue is we all assume that he's going to another company.
Yeah.
He has a history of neck issues. Maybe he's just saying, hey, I need a break.
True.
Maybe he just wants to take a break and not have to worry about, getting his gear on, going to this company, to that company. Maybe that might be the case. Now, personally, I would love to see what he can do in AEW. I think if he's looking to make good money, I think Tony would look at him and just say, hey, come to my company, I'll pay you.
Oh, we'll survive.
But I think it would be a good choice there. I'd love to see him and Joe. Any of the guys there, I think, would be good. We all know how good Tommaso Ciampa is.
Mm-hmm.
His Blackheart run in NXT, one of the best characters they'd ever had.
He didn't even have a friggin' music. He had just the fans booing him. That was his entrance music.
Yeah.
Was. And he got over organically, like to the point where they were going to have to turn him face even before he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But then I remember when I think it was the debut of NXT on USA, and Adam Cole had the title, and he's holding it up, and then you hear the heart monitor, and you hear it flatline, and then you hear "No One Will Survive," and then you just see him walk around Cole. He's not looking at Cole; he's looking at Goldie.
Yep, I remember.
I want to see him win the AEW title and have that be the new Goldie.
That would be fire. I like your style. But my thing is, hopefully they don't put him in the Don Callis family like they've been doing with everybody, as we just saw Jake Something signed AEW.
You mean NWO 3.0?
Thank you. Yes, Jake Something from TNA is now on the Don Callis family. It looks to be teaming with Mark Davis.
And you start with the Don Callis family next week, right? Or is that 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, that's 2 weeks.
Yeah, it might be 2 weeks from now.
Well, that's right. This coming week, Paul, that's you, right?
That's you.
That's me. That's me.
Okay. Now, Paul, your thoughts on Tommaso Ciampa. Where do you see him landing? Your thoughts on him leaving?
I think I want to go another route here, and I think he's probably going to go back to. I think he's going to go to producing.
Okay.
And I think if he's going to continue wrestling, he might. It's kind of a 50-50 split here, because I think if he sits on the indies, he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I think if he wants to continue wrestling, he's going to do it on his own time. And, he's going to probably more than likely want to spend time with his family. So I think he'll probably end up doing maybe every other weekend or every couple of weeks. I mean, we may see him show up in GCW. We may see him show up in PWG, we may see him show up in TNA, because remember, TNA doesn't do live every week. They do recordings, and, we get recorded stuff every, from like two every couple of weeks, or every 3 weeks, we could get a live show. So maybe once a month or twice a month, depending upon what they want to do. That could be something that could work for him. But we look at somebody like Robert Roode. Robert Roode went into be producing, and we've seen, him backstage and the things that he does, and he has a light schedule. He could do like Nick Aldis. Maybe Nick Aldis is on his way out, to start wrestling. Imagine him and Cody Rhodes. We got that for the NWA World Title, at one point in time.
Uh-huh.
That could be a possibility too. Imagine Tommaso Ciampa. Imagine Tommaso Ciampa as a GM. I mean, there are possibilities, and yes, he could go to AEW. Then again, he could run over to Japan, but I think he literally wants to stay home.
Yeah,
he has his family, but he looks at the issues that Adam Cole has gone through. With his neck. With everything that's gone on with him. And I mean, he's had a couple of neck injuries, plus several knee injuries over the years. So maybe it's his body kind of saying, hey, guess what? Maybe this is your time to slow it down. But maybe he'll do it at his own pace. I like him going to the indie scene, maybe TNA, but I don't think he'll do the same schedule he did. And mind you, WWE has cut back. There's no really house shows. Aside from the tours that they do in Europe and the holiday tour that they have, but specifically, it's kind of, he may just want to stay home for a little while, watch his kids grow.
Exactly. To add on to that, Paul, if you think about it, yeah, they're not wrestling as much, but that's still a lot of travel. That's tough. Like I remember watching an interview with Mick Foley a number of years ago, and he was talking about how difficult the travel is. He said you're having to pack up, you're having to pack your gear, then go to the airport, get on a plane. He said depending on where you're going, you could be on a plane for 6-7 hours, and then you have to get a rental car, then you have to go to the gym, then you have to go to here, and that wears on the body. And he's got a little girl. Ciampa's got a little girl, and so, like you said, I could see him doing TNA. That schedule is very appealing.
It's funny that we talk about what he's going to do next, and we talk about the schedule that WWE does, and it's more friendlier on the body. And you mentioned traveling. go watch the clip of Mark Henry talking to the Undertaker about him sitting in the car with Viscera and Teddy Long and them smoking weed and him over there being high in the back seat of the car, and he had to stick his head out the window of the car for like over an hour because the car smelled like weed. Oh my God. And then him getting Teddy and Viscera getting out of the car and Mark Henry sitting in the back seat like high as fuck, and he's trying to figure out, and then Teddy comes out 10 minutes later. Are you going to check into your hotel? Man, just go watch the clip. It's funny as all hell because the way Mark Henry tells it, the facial expressions, hearing the Undertaker laugh at him, those are hilarious.
That's the stuff right there. The travel, the road.
In addition to that,
yes,
the same clip of Taker talking about rooming with the Iron Sheik.
Yes. Ah, Bubba.
Oh, Bubba, it's hot. Oh, cold weather. Ooh, good for the body, good for circulation.
You gotta pee? Go ahead, man. You can go pee.
You like it what he's doing when he has the blow dryer on and he's over there with his freaking. He goes, "What the hell? Shiki ain't got no freaking hair." He's over there with his mustache. I need to have it nice and curled. He's like, "Can you go to bed? I'm trying to go to sleep." Okay, Bubba. Okay, Bubba. Rest in peace to the Iron Sheik. Oh, and fuck the Hulk Hogan.
Fuck the
Hulk Hogan.
So with that being said, I agree wholeheartedly with you, gentlemen. Whatever Tommaso Ciampa does, he's going to do extraordinary and do what he does in spectacular fashion.
The other point, Mike, he could do the wrestling convention circuit.
Yeah, make the money on the merch and all that. I can see that.
Cameo, that's another thing.
Not Ric Flair style cameo, though.
Yeah,
not MJF, how much he charges.
How much does he charge for a cameo?
Last I knew, it was like $700.
Okay. All right.
But it's MJF.
It's MJF.
You expect it from him.
Exactly.
And people pay it.
That they do. And I will.
Come on, it's MJF. When are you gonna get the opportunity for him to insult you?
So
I would rather pay $700 for him than anything for Ric Flair.
Oh, Ric Flair will be drunk. Ric Flair will be woo.
Call you by the wrong
name. Every other word is
woo. Or calling you the wrong name.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Rick. But I will say this: Tommaso Ciampa, send you love. We look forward to where your journey takes you next. And gentlemen, those are my 3 topics. Paul, I'll hand it to you. What are your 3 topics?
I actually have the surprising one to start off the year, and that was one Matt Cardona. No, Zack Ryder. Wait a second. No. Matt Cardona signing with WWE. I mean, and him coming out to the Zack Ryder theme, all of a sudden it going black, and then boom, Matt Cardona flashing up on the screen, and it was like, wow, are you kidding me? Then, of course, Sean Ross Sapp, a Fightful, all of a sudden says, hey, guess what? A little while later says, yes, Matt Cardona has signed with a contract with WWE. And it's weird because at the time he was actually, who was it, GCW champion? And it was funny because he said in an interview that he had the GCW title on his lap when he was signing the contract. So, shout out to Matt Cardona, man. I mean, you are literally one of the few people who have left WWE to come back to WWE and, leave WWE, make a name for yourself outside of WWE. I mean, and he was the indie god. He literally held that for so long. Shout out to Shotzi Blackheart, who's got it now, and I hope she continues to run with it. But for Matt Cardona to sign with WWE is something I didn't have on my bingo card this year. What about you guys?
No. Well, can we give a shout out to the unsung hero of that match, Kit Wilson, and his new theme song that's sweeping the nation? We love you, Kit.
It's with Kit Wilson, like, I mean, it sucks that Elton Prince is out for.
Well, he did just have successful neck surgery, so congratulations to Elton.
So they're saying he could be out for like 9 months or longer, which
Sucks.
But Kit Wilson, like, those guys are so underrated.
I agree.
And it's so cool to see Kit Wilson, doing his damn thing. And, like, Mike, you and I have talked, and I hate this whole thing where one member of a tag team goes down and the other person's taken off TV. I'm looking at you, Street Profits.
That sucks. That's one that sucks.
Street Profits.
They did it with Ivar, but they actually gave Ivar a good push when Eric was gone. That was the
Eric was gone, yeah.
Like, as good as Montez Ford is, why the fuck is he sitting on the sidelines?
Waiting. Just waiting
Like,
for something.
You could easily have him on Raw. Give him a brief IC title run.
It boggles the mind when someone is still there and they can't just have them do some solo stuff. Like we mentioned,
not Austin. Freaking Xavier Woods.
Yes,
Xavier Woods is a prime example. You had him win King of the Ring. Vince had him win King of the Ring,
and nothing.
And again, somebody that should have had a run in WWE, at least with the IC title. Much like Kofi, should have had a run with the IC title, but no, you don't give this man enough credit for doing what he's doing, and it mind boggles me. It really, really, truly does, and I don't get it. So, but yes, I agree with you, Kip. Kip should have. I mean, at least if you're putting him out there, I don't care if he loses. At least he's being put out there. Yeah. Montez Ford, I agree wholeheartedly. He should have a run by himself. At least when DIY, at least when either Ciampa or at least when one of them was down, you gave the other one an opportunity. So I would like to see that happen. Case in point, I'll give you one prime example that is really, really old, and that was the British Bulldogs.
Yep.
When when the Dynamite Kid tore his meniscus in his knee, they gave the British Bulldog a run for himself, by himself, and he did a phenomenal job. Even as an IC champion, Intercontinental champion, he did a phenomenal job just by himself, and he became had this whole different aura to him. Yeah, they tried to bring Dynamite Kid back into the fold, but you kind of already seen like the split happening. So, but yeah, I think if Kip Wilson, is just kind of going to be out there, you might as well just let him go out there and do what he's going to do. And even if he loses, he's out there on TV as well.
And to go into your point as well with Cardona, like you mentioned, guys busted his ass for 6 years, comes back, beats Kit Wilson. We saw him doing the stuff with NXT and the TNA partnership, put over guys like Josh Briggs. Now he'll be facing Trick Williams next week in one of the number one contenders match to get a shot at the world title and be in the Fatal 4-Way. I think that's great. I think him and Trick are going to do it up. I don't see him winning, but I think he's going to have a good showing. And of course, we got to talk about the sweet life of Zach and Cody, as we saw that picture and meme of Cody Rhodes and Zack Ryder backstage there, Matt Cardona hugging and saying, "What's up, what's up?" And now you made him an integral part of going for the world title. Go ahead, Dan.
Bigger and more important than that is when you think typically people in the past that have gotten, let go from WWE, they've struggled, and it's always been like, hey, I got to get back there. I got to get back to WWE. Matt Cardona was really one of the first to be like, you're going to be okay.
Yes, he was.
How many times, like when WWE has done mass firings, and he will put out a statement. He says, "Hey, you got two choices, or you got some choice. You can either wallow and feel bad for yourself, or you can do the work and bust your ass." Like
he definitely did the work.
He's been busting his ass for like the last 5 years to get to where he is now. Like, you look at he said he has done shows where there's only a handful of people.
Mm-hmm.
He said he wrestled in a carnival.
Remember that?
Actually, I know what event that was.
Okay, what event was it?
It's called Speedy Fest, and it was in Binghamton, New York.
Okay. I remember.
I recognized the title that he was holding.
I remember him going back to his old stomping grounds of the New York Wrestling Connection, NYWC on Long Island.
Beyond that, like, you had Matt Cardona wrestling in a freaking death match with Nick Gage.
Yep.
Tell me, look at anybody that's gone through WWE that would do that.
Probably no one.
Would Cody do that?
No.
Would anybody? Kevin Owens, I think, would do that.
Yeah.
Just because Kevin Owens.
Maybe Sami Zayn.
Maybe.
I think Seth, I think, would do it.
Yeah.
Rollins would do it.
Absolutely.
But there's not a lot of people out there that would do that and would be cool with what Nick Gage does. You know, the pizza cutter, you know, the white tubes, you know, that match, like Matt Cardona came out in white trunks and in white, you know, tights and a white tee and white tank top. By the time that match was done, that white tank top was red.
Very much so.
And then what did he do the next day? He and Chelsea Green went to Disneyland.
Nothing says love like death matches in Disneyland.
You know they go hand in hand, right?
That they do. So
he told the story that, like,
yeah,
he said Chelsea had to, you know, keep changing my bandages. I wake up and the bed is just soaked. He said I felt so bad. But you know what? He's somebody that shows, like, hey, this shows fans that, hey, if you want something,
go for it.
Put in the fucking work and do it.
And that is why the grind never stops. And Matt Cardona is that man. And
he's always ready.
Yes, he's always ready, baby. And speaking of always right, Paul Morales and always ready. What are you ready with for your next topic, sir?
I got, you know what, it was weird because, you know, we never really get onto the topics of like New Japan and like everything over there in Japan, but Maki Ito was actually one name that I think we all know. I think so many people know in wrestling. I mean, from the indie scenes, from GCW, you know, from a lot of different promotions here in the States. But now she has signed exclusively with Stardom. That means she isn't going anywhere else. She isn't doing any other promotions. Actually, you know what? It's kind of weird because there's this partnership that they have with New Japan. So I think maybe in that sort of realm, she may actually be going to there, you know, back and forth. But she's staying in Japan, at least for now. She's staying in Japan. She's doing the work with Stardom. I know we mentioned New Japan, and I would be remiss if I didn't say this. New Beginnings is actually going to be on your guys' coast. I believe it's next year sometime. And then I also know that they're going to do an event in Vegas the weekend of WrestleMania. So I also know that much. And
Paul, don't jump the guardrails.
Okay, I won't jump the guardrails. I promise I will not jump the guardrails. But I am going to try and attend as many indie shows over the WrestleMania weekend, at least a couple of them, I'd say. And I know TNA is, I believe, is going to have an event, I think the Thursday, once everybody gets there. I think it's the Thursday before SmackDown. So I want to say that it's going to be a very eventful weekend, WrestleMania weekend. But of all things, I think Maki Ito is kind of one of the names that just kind of drew me, you know, and she is a draw because people want to see her wrestle, especially when she's out there sacrificing her body like she does. Man, that girl has done some pretty crazy ass fights, even the freaking death matches that she's had.
She's one of the ones like when she was there.
Nick Gage.
Yes,
that's what I was gonna say. Of all people that she wrestled was Nick Gage.
MDK, Maki Death Kill.
Well, that was my thing too. To go on your guys' point is like seeing her work in AEW for that short time. Like she has the gimmick where she's singing, but she's also crazy and nuts at the same time. I think that's a great addition to Stardom. I mean, watching like you mentioned the death matches, AEW all over. She's one that definitely has that overall presentation to her, and I cannot wait to see what she does and how she really encompasses herself within Stardom. So, Dan, your thoughts, Makito?
I'm excited for her. It's obvious that she is insanely talented,
and she's still young. Let's just put that out there into the forefront. She is still young. Look, Stardom has lost Julia, has lost Stephanie when Stephanie was there for a little while. Mariah May. I mean, you look
Asuka
at the
years ago.
Asuka, Kyrie.
And I think that's another company that's trying to replenish a lot of the women that have gone away. And, I think they're going to do a good job in bringing in, and they have done a good job on starting newer, younger talent there. So let's just see if they can continue to keep the ball rolling. And I don't think it's going to be long before Maki ends up being a champion there.
No, I mean, she's only 30. Like Paul mentioned, she's young. She's only 30 years old, going to be 31.
And she don't even, and as they say, like Asian girls, you know what? Half of them don't even look their age. So she still look like she's about fucking 10. So.
Well, look at Kyrie Sane. Like, you look at Kyrie, she's like almost to her 40s, and she doesn't even look like she's in her late 30s.
Look at Asuka. Asuka don't even look her age.
Yeah, she doesn't even look like she's in her 40s.
Exactly.
Oh, you gotta love it. But I agree. It really establishes Stardom some more. And like you mentioned, there's history and there's prominence there. So now you have more prominence within the brand. So Maki Ito, let's go. And Paul, your final topic before we move on over to Dan's topics.
Yeah, this was one that I am so happy that we were actually discussing before we actually came on air. And it was, my other topic is the lawsuit that is now being filed against both WWE and ESPN. The fact that they false advertised to a lot of people what was going on and what was going to transpire as far as like the PLEs, because a lot of people believed, hey, look, this is going to be a joint venture with ESPN and WWE. The minute that they dropped that all their PLEs were going to be on the direct to consumer app, and it had to be on the app, and everybody was like, wait a second, but I already get ESPN. Why is it not on? If I'm paying for cable or I'm paying for satellite or however which way you get ESPN, why can't I watch it just on ESPN? Because a lot of people were just like, were under the assumption or under the thought of, hey, I'm going to get this with my subscription. Hey, guess what? I'm not going to have to watch college football on a Saturday night. You know what? Hey, I'm going to watch a WWE show. When that didn't happen, people were like, wait a second. Why am I not getting this?
Exactly.
Well, problem with that was ESPN has rights to MLB. They have the rights to the NFL. They have the rights to NHL. So they get to pick and choose what dates that these shows come on. Especially with college football being during specific times of the year, from September to December, you're not really going to do that. And then they have Sunday Night Baseball, which I believe that they just recently lost. So we may actually see the PLEs on ESPN. But the reality is, they got a lot of people thought one thing, and then they ended up getting duped for another.
Well, and Paul, they also made it seem like the library was going to be on ESPN too.
Yeah.
But now we know that WWE's library is going to Netflix.
Yep.
But what we don't know is the WCW pay-per-views, the ECW, all the old promotions,
WCCW stuff,
all the territories and everything like that. Yeah, we have no idea where all those are going. I mean,
it's rumored. It's rumored that's going to YouTube, which to me I'm okay with that.
I'm cool with that.
Now, there is one ECW. I mean, it's technically ECW, but not really. One Night Stand 05 and 06.
Yeah.
but it's, I hate to sound cliche, but it's corporate greed. It's TKO being greedy.
So, on that note, I will read the article in itself to give you my perspective on this as well. WWE is heading back to the courtroom from another battle. In September of 2025, WWE kicked off their PLE streaming deal with ESPN on a new special event called WrestlePalooza. This show was sold as a new addition to the upper tier of WWE events and featured top stars like John Cena, Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, AJ Lee, and Cody. And we will get down to what the deal is. So here's what's going on. WWE make a lot of money off this deal, but they now reportedly will have to spend some of the money on lawyers and court fees. A report by Post Wrestling indicates that a new class action lawsuit was filed against WWE on Thursday. The suit alleges that current customers of ESPN were informed via company marketing that they had access to WWE events with their current ESPN subscription. In the end, and ahead of the WrestlePalooza premiere, that was not the case. The plaintiffs in the case are looking to represent any customer in the United States that paid for the ESPN direct-to-consumer product unlimited when they were already an ESPN subscriber. The specific point of contention in the suit is a press release issued in early August of last year that confirmed the new product's features would be available to customers who already have ESPN content through a direct purchase or television package. Currently, WWE is the only listed defendant in the lawsuit. ESPN is obviously close to the situation, but is not currently involved in the suit directly. At the time of this report, WWE has not formally responded to the suit or allegations. So it's going to be very interesting to see where that goes. For me, I'm with you guys. It's corporate greed, and it's just, misadvertising and just a lot of crap that is just so, that comes with corporate media and anything that has to deal with that. So,
and can we all agree, can we just get the old WWE network back?
I'm almost to that point, man. Exactly.
The layout of the old network was incredible. It was easy to, you could literally, whatever you wanted, you could easily find it in the menu.
Yep.
And that's the one part of all this. It's like you had fewer issues with the WWE network than what you do now. You know what? If you wanted to have it branched out, to have stuff on ESPN, you could have easily packaged it in with the WWE network. If you wanted to put it on Netflix and whatnot, you could have easily packaged it into to WWE network. Everything could have gone through the network and still, been profitable for the company. But instead, we didn't get that. We never got that. And that's the bad part, because we knew we needed something. We knew we needed wife.
Hi, Paul's wife.
Hi, Paul's wife.
Donuts.
Oh.
You want to say hi?
Say hi.
Hi. I guess I got to try a donut, because I guess that's kind of a thing to do. And you made them. Ooh, hi.
Of course, you got to try the donuts, Paul.
Yeah, what do we want some donuts?
No, sorry, my bad. My boy said I got to try a donut. Oh my God!
Through to talk with
you.
you.
Why I got a good wife, man. Shout out to my wife for coming in, because, man,
with donuts.
Donuts.
Man. Okay, where the hell was I at? Oh,
Donut Heaven. Donut Heaven.
That's where I was at. Donut Heaven.
Which watch that be the name of a new PLE.
Donut Heaven. Great Balls of Fire. You heard of Great Balls of Fire? Donut Heaven.
That's where we're going. That's where we're going down. That's the road we're going down with WWE.
Donut death match.
Donut death match.
Loser gets.
Hey, you know what? It's funny because they're trying to go away from a lot of the Vince era of freaking PLEs or pay-per-views or names of PLEs. Pretty soon we're going to end up getting one of those stupid ass names. I mean, we already got WrestlePalooza, which made absolutely no sense. But
it was an old ECW.
And I know that was an old ECW one. Yes, I know. But still, at the same time, look. Understandable. What's understandable is that WWE pretty much led its consumers down a path that a lot of us didn't even want to go down. That a lot of people were like, "Hey, we're gonna get these PLEs through ESPN, and as I said before, we a lot of us thought, oh God, now we're going to see them maybe on ESPN2 or on ESPN, and ESPN would move everything that they had, football, whatever, over to ESPN2, and WWE would get priority. That wasn't what we got. As to wonder why there's so many people that were so pissed off. And if you recall, remember, I kept messaging you guys, are you guys watching the pay-per-view or the PLE? And none of us could get into it. One, none of us can get into it. And then two, I think Dan was the one that was saying, I'm not watching it because I can't fucking get it on my TV. So
yeah, I wound up finding it on Disney Plus. Yeah,
and that was the thing, is that you had to go through this whole fucking search bar and through all these searches to find the damn thing. And I was already like done. I had to go undercover to find it, but I did find it.
My other issue is you put it on an app that cost $30.
30 buckaroos
for one app that literally I don't watch sports. I really don't. I'm not going to pay $30 for fucking WWE PLEs. No,
exactly.
If they had the entire WWE library, maybe. But literally, it's just pay-per-views. Like, for $30, I have HBO Max, I have Disney Plus, I have Hulu. For 3 apps for the price of that? No. At some point, and this is for all of us, not just the 3 of us, but anyone, you've got to draw a line somewhere as to what you're willing to take.
Yep.
And $30, I'm not doing it. And, we talked about greed. Earlier, before we came on, I thought maybe going to WrestleMania this year because, I've got an aunt and uncle out in Vegas, and I thought, maybe. So I went to Ticketmaster to see what was available. Mm-hmm. Cheapest seat was $725.
Jesus.
And it's nosebleed.
Hey, you want to know where you could watch it for free? My mom's house.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's...
I really...
For the last section of the stadium, and we're talking very high up, no.
I'm sorry, but there's a lot of stupid people that buy their tickets right now that are buying those package deals and
true.
But you realize what you're doing is that you're spending, okay, let's say for instance, we'll go with the amount that you said.
Yeah,
and we'll round it. We'll round it up after prices and everything. We'll just say $850.
Because Ticketmaster's got to get their slice of the pie.
Okay, well, so we'll say $850 for one night of WrestleMania. Now, that's only WrestleMania. You haven't even gotten to. Hey, guess what? Now you just said a lot of people are paying for hotels. Not to mention now you got to pay for food. Now you got to pay for travel to get to the place. You're talking about roughly, now we'll go from where you're at. We'll say it's about $1,000 round trip. I'm just using rough estimate. I'm trying to say another $1,000. We still haven't even gotten to hotels. We still haven't even gotten to the people that come from out of the country that are, of course, coming into this country. And we will get on another topic of that maybe later on, but right now a lot of people are not going to want to come from other countries to come here, but that's just being real. So what they're expecting is for people from here to go to Vegas to go spend all this money. And it's not going to happen. I'm going to Vegas. I am driving to Vegas. And guess what I'm doing? I'm staying with my mom. And guess what I'm going to do? I am going to go to Hi, Mom. I'm going to go to every indie show that I can. And I'm going to go see, shout out to our girl, Denise Salcedo. I'm going to go see her. I may go see everybody from Busted Open. But you know what? Circa actually has like these big old freaking TVs. They actually have beach areas in the back to where you can just pay to go in, and it's like 70-80 bucks to go in there. And then of course, then again, you got to go out there to buy your drinks. But come on, relaxing out in the freaking out there and by the pool watching WrestleMania, shit, I'm all for it. Or I could watch it at my mom's house, and guess what? My stepdad got a freaking big ass TV, so I could do that too.
And also, you got WrestleCon. You've got that.
You got a lot of indie shows. You have a lot of there's going to be the WWE World there that you can pay to go into, and go see what they have there. But at the same time, what is best for people is just to probably stay home. If you're going to go to Vegas, do all the indie shows, but go somewhere and watch it. That's probably your best bet, is to go somewhere and watch it at one of the hotels or Circa or whatever hotels are going to have it, because there are a lot of hotels that are there that are going to be broadcasting it.
Whew. So with that being,
that was a long ass breath, man. I mean, we're going through this lawsuit bullshit, but hey, you know what?
You got to understand.
By all means.
No, you got to understand that it's one of those things where I felt every one of that. Number one, I felt all of that.
Mike, not to cut you off real quick, but you want to tell us how we got here?
Oh, God. Well, you see, TKO took over WWE, and the fact of the matter is they're all greedy motherfuckers, and they're greedy sons of bitches, and now we have to spend all this goddamn money on these fucking goddamn tickets, and all we really got to do right now is really stay our asses at home and watch professional wrestling like normal people, because I'd rather sit and watch a shit from the comfort of my own home than rather pay all this money to sit in the goddamn nosebleeds. So with that being said, that's how we got here.
Exactly.
So now with both of our topics done, Paul's and mine, Dan, your 3 topics before we get into the 3 main ones.
First and foremost, I do want to address something that I'm stoked for.
Yes.
Nick Gage completing rehab. It's not set. I haven't seen yet if he's officially back with GCW, but we love an underdog. Nick Gage is someone, he's never been shy about what he's done, the mistakes he's made. He's owned up to literally all the bullshit that he's done. This is a guy who's lost his brother, lost his mother, and about a year, I think within the last year or so, lost his long-term girlfriend / I'm not sure if they were officially married. I'm not 100% certain, but he knew he needed help, and he went into rehab, and he's back. And that to me is someone that I'm stoked for. Like I hope whatever he decides to do, because I've seen the guy wrestle. Like the guy can wrestle. We know he's good with the death matches, but dude can actually hang in the ring with people.
Yes, he can.
And I could not be more happy for him. Like, he's a genuine good dude. Like, and arguably one of the greatest Dark Side of the Ring episodes I've ever seen.
Nick fucking Gage.
Just ask David Arquette.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, buddy. One of the things that always got me about him, and here's the thing, I know he gets a lot of bad rap for being, the bank robbery and all that shit, but for me, when it comes to a guy like Nick Gage, generally, like as Dan mentioned many a times, loves his fans, loves the art form that is professional wrestling, and he goes out there and gives 110%, whether it's death matches or just to the community. That's somebody who has paid his debt to society and has really grown as a person. And you love to see someone take their accountability in hand, go to rehab, better themselves, mind, body, and soul. And that's all you can wish for within any human being. So, Paul, to Daniel's first topic, your thoughts on Nick Gage in the rehab situation?
I think everybody falls on hard times, and everybody has their flaws and things that happen to them, and it's those people who do their best work through adversity. You know, those are the ones that we champion for, and we know that can come out on the other end. And, you know, at least we hope that they can come out on the other end. And, you know, for Nick, it's kind of one of those things where you know his body of work, you know what he does, and you know the tremendous pain he puts his own body through. You know, the things he subjects his body to, you know, in all those death matches and whatnot. But aside from that, we know that the person that is Nick Cage, you know, is such a probably more of a genuine person. Yeah, he could be a bit edgy, be a bit of an asshole, but you know, we don't want to see anything bad happen to him. We want to see him succeed. You know, and if he was, no matter what the issue was that he was going through, and yes, we know it was substance abuse, and but at least on the other end, he went to go get help. He went to go do all the things that he needed to do for himself. And that's a good thing. You know, that's not a bad thing, you know, so kudos to him. I hope everything works out. And yes, I would love to see him back in GCW, you know, going out on and doing his damn thing that he does, and maybe not do as many death matches. Maybe just have some really, really great matches.
And with that being said, we love you and shout out to Nick Gage. Friggin' murder gang up in here, baby. MFK. Dan, what is your second topic?
The second topic that I think really bears mentioning is the WWE tape library situation. You know, we went months without knowing, are they staying on Peacock? And they really didn't make a huge thing of it until just, I think, a week or so ago. They didn't say anything, but well, WWE PLEs randomly started showing up on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
They randomly, it was like some random Money in the Bank showed up, and then all the WrestleManias are on there, and it's like, I guess
okay.
they're doing. And you saw me put in the chat, like, hey, so I guess PLEs are on Netflix now.
Just here you go.
And then they put in out a random, you know, press release saying, hey, Netflix is now the source of the library. Like, which I don't think anybody was really all that surprised. You know?
Not for as much money as they paid for.
And it makes sense
for it to go there.
I think it makes a lot of sense for how that to go. Netflix has a, you know, very user-friendly layout, whereas Peacock was kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, because you had too many NBC Universal channels.
Exactly.
And then you had to kind of scroll through, and then you had TLC, you had all these you had USA, you had you had E, you had all these reality shows, and it's like then you got to go searching for it in the search bar. Or I understand that they had a little icon for it, but I mean, unless you were really, really looking for it, you know, in the search or on the side menu, you're not going to find it. And it seemed like more so I would say over the last 6, 7, maybe 8, over at least the last half of the year, it wasn't as simple to find, because it seemed like they were just pulling a lot of their library and not really presenting it, especially the territories.
Exactly. And that's kind of like what Peacock has been doing. And it's not just with that. Peacock, which, you know, is owned by NBC Universal, they used to have every single season of Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
Yeah.
Now, if you go on there, they are missing from seasons, I think it's 7 up to like season 18 or 19. So we're missing like half the series, which I don't get. It's your show.
It's Dick Wolf's show. It's not theirs. It's Dick Wolf. And I think in his mind, it's like, you know what? I forgot he has FBI International over on CBS, but I don't know.
Law and Order Canada, which is like
Law and Order Vancouver
WB
or whatever
show
it is. I think it's Law and Order Vancouver. I think that's on the CW. So,
which is
but
just
I
weird.
mean, yeah, and it's weird, but still at the same time,
Okay.
you get all these shows from him, you know, and across various apps. But I mean, okay, sorry, we're gonna get off subject again, but I think like what you said, yeah, it's gonna be hard for a lot of us, especially we don't even know where the hell the territories are gonna go, and we have a show that we have to do. Damn it!
Yeah,
we pop number one because you know we got Uncaged that we got to do.
Gotta watch
of a certain AWA show. Sorry, Moses.
Sorry, Mo. You gotta watch Super Bowl, baby. 88.
I really think that they're probably
You know what? I actually have it saved on YouTube. So
I do too. Yeah, ever since you said it.
Realistically, knowing that, and I remember I told you guys like a couple weeks ago, I said, you know, they've been quietly uploading like old WCW pay-per-views to YouTube. Like,
yeah, they got the WCW YouTube channel.
And I'm sure ECW will be the same thing.
Yep, they have,
and that's not a bad thing. I mean, if you're gonna use YouTube like that, and I mean, granted, you look at what gets a lot of people going back and watching these. You have a lot of retro shows that go back and they watch old WCW pay-per-views. They watch old WWE pay-per-views. They watch, you know, ECW. They go back, and much like, you know, what Mo and I used to do when we did Retro Rewind, you know, we would, I know that's cheap pop number 2, but at the same time, it's you go back and you watch these shows and you watch what people watch. You know, you see what these shows and these podcasts that go back and rewind to watch these. That's fine and dandy, but if you're going to be able to find them on YouTube, hey, cool, fine, dandy, cool. Yeah. And a lot of people have already uploaded them themselves because, you know, that wasn't really, I guess they weren't really copywritten.
No, but I think that's the general consensus, man. When you start these networks or start these channels, people love the nostalgia and they love the history. And I think that garners a lot of attention. And Daniel, speaking of attention, as you made a lot of attention with your topics, what is your third and final topic, sir?
In something that I think is super exciting for AAA fans.
Mm-hmm.
There was a interview with Vikingo.
Yes.
Where he was scanned in for WWE Supercard, you know, their mobile card game. Yeah. Now, people, you say, well, it's a mobile card game. Like, how does that affect their video games? Well, I'll tell you. The interview where he was being interviewed is their mobile creation studio where they scan people in for the video games. I'm talking WWE 2K26.
Right.
Now, with the acquisition of AAA, it's highly likely that we're going to get at least a couple AAA stars in the next video game, whether that be downloadable content or in the base game. And I think it's great for them because, hey, more money.
Yep.
B, it's great for the fans that they can now play as their favorite star. You know, we'll at least get Vikingo, you know.
Iguana. Microman.
That one might be a little tougher.
Iguana.
With Layeska,
yes.
Las Tóxicas.
Oh, of course, this one wants to see Los Tóxicas.
Oh, yeah, you know I want
to. Yeah, man.
You know I want to. You know I want to play with.
And, you know,
baby,
I could not be more stoked. You know, I remember when they announced the AAA acquisition, a lot of us were worried, and rightfully so. Like, how is this going to go?
It's been great.
But so far, the AAA shows have been phenomenal.
They've been kicking fucking ass.
That last one was amazing.
You know what? Shout out to JBL. Shout out to The Undertaker. You know, shout out to everybody who is behind the scenes that's doing that. Yeah, I understand. It's a completely different product. And it's it's one of those that needed that refresher. It needed that refresher. But at the same time, I hope they continue to develop new people. You know, I don't want it to just be continually be the same people over and over again, but I want it to be new people. I want it to bring in new wrestlers from around the world, and hopefully they do that. Hopefully at some point in time they take a lot of well, I'll even take one in particular, Santos Escobar.
Yep, we have
Santos is doing nothing.
Yep.
He just re-signed with the company, and yet he's not doing anything. I hope in 2026 they do something with him, and he ends up in AAA, because that would be an amazing place for him to be, especially to thrive.
Santos versus Dominic. Give me that.
Have him be the one to take the title off Dominic.
That'd be cool. Santos versus Dr. Wagner Jr. Let's go.
Him Dr. Wagner Jr.
Come on, and you can get him versus Vikingo. You can get them two together. Imagine that one.
Yep.
No, I'm sorry, but you of all the things that you should do, that would be one to have. And don't be surprised if we don't get AAA representation inside of the Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah, I think that's guaranteed.
I think Iguana's going to be in there. I think we're probably going to see a lot of great talent come from there too. I agree.
And it's been great, you know. And I couldn't be more happy for the talent.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
And one more? Look, man, you're allergic to hose. That's all it is.
In different areas.
On the whole train.
Woo, woo.
You got hose in different area codes, is what you're saying, Daniel? Is that what you're saying? Thanks to war.
Seeing Vikingo, you know, it's who I think realistically is probably on the back end of his career with his knees.
Yeah.
But seeing Mr. Iguana, seeing him get over with the crowd, like the main roster, they love him. NXT fans love him.
Mm-hmm. You know what? It's. I was at that Worlds Collide show here in LA.
Yep.
My wife and I were there, and I can tell you, from the moment that man came out and what he was doing in the ring, to go from that to later on in the evening to watching SummerSlam and the reaction from the crowd when they showed him, oh my God, you can tell that man was a star as soon as the lights hit him, they showed him, and he was just like,
hey,
with La Yesca right there on his shoulder. Yeah, that man is a star.
Yes, and it's you'll love to see, and just the history. El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. His match with Ethan Page at the last show was amazing.
Awesome.
Yep. You'll love to see it. You absolutely love to see it, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And like you, I hope they develop new characters, and it really seems to me like between them, CMLL, like to see this resurgence of lucha in the United States that we haven't really seen since
the mid-90s
division WCW.
Yep.
And you love to see it.
You do. We love to see it.
You do love to see it. And what we also did love to see, as we are now at the main final three topics, something that we love to see. I caught up on it later. I went back and watched the full show of Wrestle Kingdom. But damn it, I did watch Hiroshi Tanahashi's farewell match against Kazuchika Okada, paid tribute to Nakamura. He did so many great things in the match, and it started slow, and then they build it up with Okada getting the win with the Rainmaker. The man was visibly in tears as he looked up at the lights and was on the mat. Then the great ceremony they had afterwards. Hiroshi Tanahashi, my earliest memory was him against AJ Styles at Final Resolution 06 back in the TNA days. The man's a legend. The man is one of the pioneers, one of the biggest baby faces in New Japan Pro Wrestling. But that match, everything was just so emotional. And I'll let you start, Mr. Daniel Crimmins, Tanahashi and Okada, final match with Tanahashi.
You know, there's been the comparison for years, calling Tanahashi the Japanese John Cena.
Cena-Hashi.
Like that. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. It's
Not at all.
you think of someone that means so much to their company. It's Tanahashi. Like, the guy has busted his ass for his company. IWGP heavyweight champion. United States champion, and I'm excited to see what he does now that he's fully devoted to the corporate level.
To be the president of New Japan, yeah.
I think it's a good thing. It's
Well, he has a mind to help people and bring
he
talent.
does.
So that's a plus.
It sucks that we didn't get Nakamura over there, but
Yeah.
I will say there was that interview where they did ask Tony Khan about that, like that rumor, and he even said he's like, this is the first I'm hearing about it, and I don't think he put the kibosh on that. I'm more apt to think WWE said no.
Yeah. Now, Paul, we'll ask you your thoughts on the farewell match, because I thought it was good, like we mentioned there, and it was a great celebration of Tanahashi. Your thoughts on his final match with Okada?
I am going to say this with all respect.
Of course.
That's exactly how John Cena should have went out.
Yeah.
And I understand John's point of view on not wanting to have some sort of like hoopla. I understand John's point of view of not wanting to give too much away. I would have liked to have seen John kind of break that mold of not going down in defeat, much like Sting, but I get it. I get Tony's reasoning for wanting to have Sting go over. I get Tony's because Sting is a legend. Sting is beyond a legend because he was so many fucking decades. We're talking from the 80s to the 90s, early 2000s. I mean, all the way up to when he retired. Just I think it was last year, right? It was last year.
Yes.
I mean, you're talking literally 4 decades, 5 decades of him wrestling, and John was so deserving of a huge send-off. And we've talked about this previously, and we talked about this shortly on our last show of the year. John should have gotten a WrestleMania moment, a WrestleMania send-off. Did it need to be the main event? No. Could it have been the main event of like night one? I think people would have loved to have had gone home celebrating John Cena on at least night one of WrestleMania. They would have been so happy, so ecstatic, and gone home crying, and everybody would have been happy. But what we got what we got.
Yeah.
And I get it, and I completely get it. But what Tanahashi got, that was a whole entire nation, a whole entire country, a whole entire fan base of his, who literally came to see him in one of the huge arena at the Tokyo Dome. I mean, and well deserving of everything that he got. And yes, all the people that came out to show him love, that should have been everything that John should have gotten, and John should have welcomed because of his body of work, for everything that he did, and everything that Tanahashi meant to New Japan was a lot of what John Cena meant to a lot of people in WWE. The send off that John got didn't do justice, but what Tanahashi got and the disrespect that Nick Khan said, and that they should have allowed Shinsuke to go over there, regardless of whether they're your competitor or not. They should have let him go, because
that's his boy, one of his greatest.
That's his boy, and we're not asking him to wrestle. He didn't even have to come out during when everybody came out to greet him or to praise him and everything. The fact that Tanahashi honored Shinsuke.
Yep.
I'm sorry, that was beautiful too.
On by the way.
Everything that Tanahashi did in that match was pure gold. I don't think it should have been with Okada because him and Okada didn't really have that rivalry, but him and Nakamura did.
Yeah.
That was probably the only bummer of it all, but shout out to Tanahashi. Love.
I would not be shocked if Triple H would have been cool with it, because I think he probably would have been.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked if Nick Khan was the one that put the kibosh on it.
That would not shock me in the slightest either. No.
Which, in one of the... It's hard to tell the WWE lawsuits apart right now because there's a fuck ton of them. But those emails and the messages came out from, I think it was WrestleMania 39, that Vince was involved still.
Yeah,
despite them telling people, "Oh, hey, he's not involved," which I've been saying for years. I don't think Vince is really gone.
I think they'll talk to him about stuff, but he's not involved like he was.
And I think he's still getting paid. And that's just me because
he's still involved.
He's still involved in that aspect because, again, he's the one that built this. And as much as they like to say, "Oh, well, we're going to try and move away from Vince PLEs, or we're going to try and move from the Vince era," you're not going to, because Triple H is your head of creation. So
for now, at least.
So we shall see where that all takes us. But at the end of the day, Tanahashi, like Paul said, much love, respect. You've been killing it for years. And what a hell of
one of the arguable greatest stars in New Japan history. You talk about, people that have done it, I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Which one?
The head of New Japan from way started it.
Inoki?
Yeah, Antonio Inoki. You're gonna, when you think of American wrestling, you have Hogan, Flair, Rock, Austin, people like that. Japanese wrestling, if you don't have Tanahashi on that list,
even Shinsuke is on that list because of where he started from. And I mean, we could probably list off a bunch of names, but right now it's just all, like I said, all love and respect to Hiroshi Tanahashi for such an amazing career, and
he's
literally 3 decades of a body of work. So shout out to him.
And also
happy retirement. Happy not so much of a retirement, given that he's going to be president. He's president of New Japan, and he's
the physical side.
From the
physical aspect.
All right, Dan, what did you want to say before we move on to the next topic?
I would say, it takes a lot for a professional wrestler to know that, hey, it's time. It's time to kind of step away and to, do all that. It's not easy. It's especially for, us as I hate to be stereotypical, but as us men, it's like, we don't like facing our mortality and being like, yeah, I should probably hang it up. How many wrestlers out there have, stayed around longer than they probably should have?
But
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair. Oh, sorry.
Ric Flair would still be wrestling today if someone would hire him.
Oh, yeah. But no, I'm in agreement with you.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Oh, we'll get to him in a second here, but you were talking about body of works. I think when you think of body of works and how hard he has worked, and the fact that WWE has finally taken the chance. Last night on SmackDown, Drew McIntyre has won the WWE Championship, beating Cody Rhodes in the 3 stages of hell. Drew won the first fall, Cody won the second in the Falls Count Anywhere, and then the cage match. We had it coming towards the end. Drew was looking to escape. Then Jacob Fatu would make his return. And friggin' smashed that door right into McIntyre's face. Cody tried to cool it down, but then he beat up Cody. Then Drew slid on out. Drew McIntyre is the new WWE champion. Cody shoves down Jacob Fatu. So now you have a mix of Jacob Fatu getting his revenge on the backstage attack on Drew McIntyre, Cody being pissed at Jacob Fatu for costing him the title, and Drew finally getting his, dare I say, comeuppance and his rightful justice over the SmackDown regime. So it worked perfectly, and now Drew McIntyre is the WWE champion, and we will start with Paul. Paul, your thoughts on the main event of SmackDown and Drew becoming the new WWE champion?
Oh my God. I will revert back to our girl, Denise Salcedo. You are going to put the GIF right here. She was just as shocked as I was. I was watching it live just like her. And I was beyond shocked. I was beyond shocked to see when Jacob Fatu come out there, and be that guy to interfere. And oh my God, I'm going to get to that in a second. But first, I don't think any of us had that on our bingo card this year either.
Nope.
I mean, I don't even think that was the free fucking mark.
Nope.
I mean, but Drew, for all the times that he's had these title matches, every damn time it was always falling short. And they would have him lose to Jay, lose to Damian, lose to freaking Punk, lose to Seth, and lose to Cody. So it was like, God damn, when are you going to let this guy go over? When was it going to happen? And none of us, not even Denise, not even Santi, not even Wheezy Blonde, not even anybody. But I could tell you this much, Minnie Portable, God, her reaction was hilarious. Aside from Denise's, Minnie's was freaking hilarious. But I didn't have that on my bingo card. I was excited. I was ecstatic. I was even screaming in the car because I was driving at that time. Dan, tell me your reaction when you found out that he was champion. After you saw the video, not the fact that I sent out spoilers, but
long overdue, and it's. I think it bears saying here that oh
God, don't get me started.
But Drew is someone that this is how it should have happened for his first win. Both his two other WWE title runs were during the COVID era in front of no fans. When you think of that time, no one got screwed over worse than Drew. Like when he beat Brock, that should have been in front of tens of thousands of fans.
Mm-hmm.
And Drew is someone that he has done literally everything WWE asked him. And he has earned every single moment of this. As a fan of wrestling, I could not be more stoked for him. And it's... I hope he holds it for at least a little bit, and they don't just hot potato it back to Cody.
Hot potato.
I think Cody needs to chill a little bit.
Yeah.
I think what I would love to see happen, I would love to see Cody turn heel over this.
Yes.
And people say, well, Cody's their top baby. Well, look what turning heel did for Roman.
Right. It did wonders.
I'm telling you, for Cody, it could work. And I could not be more happy for Drew. Like, he has earned it. Get those goddamn Cody plates off the title already.
Yeah. to go off your point, much like Dan said, like we were ecstatic when he first beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 36. We wish it would have been with people, but due to circumstances, It wasn't. He had a hell of a run, really carried the WWE through a lot during the pandemic time period.
Defending against Big Show the same night.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. And then we also saw him go against, Seth like last year and only hold the title for X amount of minutes, going for the money in the bank, and then he loses. And then everything that build up to where we are now. So for him to finally, like a CC Peniston track back in 93, win that WWE World Heavyweight Championship, it was amazing.
I know he was over there screaming, finally, it happened to me right in front of your face. You know what? What a bad.
And I love though that
you weren't even born when that song came out.
I was a year old, fool.
Even on social media, Drew brought back the I prayed for this and it happened.
I prayed for this and it happened.
Like, if there is a king of social media on the WWE roster, it's got to be Drew.
And now he says he's no longer he's finally not bored at work.
No.
Or he's no longer bored at work. But here's the thing: is that I've seen a lot of people already criticizing the fact how the ending went.
Meltzer.
Our wonderful friends over there at over there at the Wrestling Observer. You know how amazing those guys are. They're already over there bullshitting Brian and Dave and Grandpa fucking old Dave.
Yeah.
Over there bitching and complaining about shit. But here's the thing is like I understood the aspect of what Jacob meant because Jacob, of course, we know that Jacob Drew attacked Jacob, knocked him out for a while, for him to give him some time off, to recover from, I guess, some whatever surgery he had or whatever pains were ailing him. But for him to come back, I just don't get like him going after Cody. I get Cody and he was just like, boom, real quick. He could have said like, oh my God, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. You were just in the middle in the fire and, all gas, no brakes, something like that.
Yeah,
and Drew kind of slipping out or, Jacob kind of lunging at him, kind of knocking him out. Probably would have worked a little bit better. And I'm just going from the creative standpoint, from my own point of view, not so much everybody else's. But I mean, yeah, things probably could have went differently. But if you're going to set up Jacob for a main title run or be in that main title picture, this is a good way to put him in there. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying the ending was great by any means, but it does propel him from where he was as the United States champion, and it puts him into that upper echelon of guys, whether he's a good guy, whether he's a face or a heel.
I think it bears saying that, like you said, people bitching about the ending. I thought it was perfect, and I'll explain why. Right now, Drew McIntyre's a heel.
Yes.
What a better way for a sniveling heel than as Cody and Jacob are going at it. What would a heel do?
Crawl out.
Would just sneak out.
Yep.
It gets Drew over even more as a heel.
Which brings us even to the next point, because Dan's going to give it more into this, as we all are. We'll go over to the Raw side of things, as CM Punk retained against Braun Breaker in a hell of a main event for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, great match.
But people started to get pissed because Braun Breaker lost. And I'm going to say right now, that did not hurt him in the slightest.
No. Let me take this one first.
Yes, go ahead,
sir. Go for it, brother.
So think about this. We all know that Braun Breaker is the heir apparent.
Yes.
He's the next guy.
Not the next big thing, but
the next person. He's going to be the next big star in the company. Think about it. Do you want his crowning achievement, his crowning moment, to be on a random ass fucking Monday Night Raw, which is what it was? It was a random bullshit Raw.
Stranger Things theme Raw, Daniel Crimmins.
I'm going to touch on that when I start talking, because you're going to hear what I have to say.
So,
okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Dan.
Would you rather have that and then it's forgotten, Or would it make more sense that knowing that he came this close and have that crowning moment be at WrestleMania in front of tens of thousands of people? Here's what you do. You have him go into Royal Rumble as number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And
get thrown out by the first guy that's in there.
Danhausen.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
You have Braun go in number 1 and win the whole damn thing. The crowd is already getting behind Braun. I would not be shocked if it leads to him getting kicked out of the division.
You mentioned this, and I'll say it.
So who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe Brock beats Punk.
I mean, to co-sign it, I don't see Braun Breaker long for the Vision either. I think his own entity, especially with how he was in NXT and when he got called up, even with the IC title run, he was been sweet. So I like that idea, but he is definitely long for a world heavyweight title.
Oh yeah, it's coming. It will happen at WrestleMania. So and that is when the moment where they will place the crown on his head and he will be the next guy. The problem is the IWC were all saying, oh, Braun's going to win the title. Braun's going to win the title. They were so damn certain that it was going to be him. I was one of the few people like, no, he's not losing it. Punk's not losing it yet.
On Raw. No.
And think about it. We can have a storyline here where the Vision can just say, we helped you and you still couldn't get the job done.
Exactly. It leads to different layers of where they're going to go with the story. So with the story, and Paul, I got to ask you, since that friggin' reaction to the Stranger Things themed, actually both of your reactions, your thoughts on Punk versus Braun Breaker and that main event?
I'll start with the main event. I'll start with that. Okay. Phenomenal match. I thought it was excellent. I thought it, beginning to end, I think there were maybe a couple little hiccups here and there, but aside from those couple of hiccups, it was a really, really great match. The fact that Braun knocked freaking Punk's boot off, was pure comedy, because he climbed back into the ring and he was like, "What the hell? My shoe, my boot." You know, it was cool. It was cool to see, but the fact that Punk went over, he paid homage to John Cena with the STFU.
He wore the varsity jacket, Rick Steiner.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think as far as like Braun losing, I think it was okay. It didn't hurt him. I think it's gonna be one of those moments to where he'll come back, and yeah, it may not be Royal Rumble. I'm thinking maybe Elimination Chamber, and then he ends up getting the title at WrestleMania, like you said. Then again, if they go a different route and we end up in a 3-way between Cody, Roman, and Punk, don't know how that would work. I don't understand how it would work, because you'd have to throw Braun on freaking SmackDown. But you know, ideas are ideas, and people are talking and want to kind of come up with their own scenarios. Okay, so we go back and we see, say Punk does lose it and at WrestleMania, cool, fine, dandy. I'm good with Braun going over at WrestleMania. Now, well, let's go back to the Stranger Things theme. Why was the Wyatt Six not on this show? And I understand they're on SmackDown, but it's a Stranger Things theme.
Yep.
And who else is stranger than the Wyatt Six? Why would you not take advantage of that? I don't get it. And that's one thing that a lot of people were like, Stranger Things, you could have the Wyatt Six. And you're talking about a group that you've done nothing with throughout. They've come back. You've done nothing with them. Yeah, you've sent them over to AAA, but what are they doing on the main roster? What is Uncle Howdy? How is Uncle Howdy carrying on the tradition of what Bray did?
Well, they did make it interesting with Solo taking the lantern on SmackDown.
No. See, look at this is what happened.
What happened?
Let's go back to when they debuted. Let's go back to when they came into this existence. What did they do? They pretty much whooped everybody's asses in all of WWE. Why are they not being presented like that? It's like they have Triple H has no idea what to do with them.
Like, and I even said this to you even just now, like, and I'll say it repeatedly. This has been, and I'll agree with their booking, because their booking has just been, we all love the act. We love
atrocious. For so many, it has been atrocious. We could talk about Jade Cargill. We could talk about Julia. We could talk about so many others. We could talk about the tag team division and talk about how atrocious the damn everything is.
The thing is,
why there are no NXT women's tag team titles in NXT. You know, we could continue to keep going on and on and on, but we're not going to continue to keep going on and on because we have a time limit on this shit. So go ahead, continue. Sorry,
no, you're fine. The Wyatt Six, ever since they've come back, listen, I understand them being the head of the tag team division. The MFT's feud so far has been meh for me, but I think including the Lantern, including Bray, and showing that weakness at the end of the match helps. But at the same time, too, the Wyatt Six, ever since they've come back, and I love them, and I love the tribute, but I'm just like, man. Jade Cargill, for example, I like that she's going against Jordan Grace now. That's a nice little build. Chelsea Green and Julia.
Mike.
Chelsea Green. Thank you.
Better.
There's so many people that could be booked better, as I am in agreement with you. But speaking of people who have been booked, we touched on Punk and Braun Breaker. We mentioned Drew McIntyre and the World Heavyweight title situation. Before we go to NXT, this one has to be done first. We're going to go over to AEW. Willow Nightingale, who lost originally to Mercedes Moné for that TBS title, wins it back on the New Year's Eve edition of AEW Dynamite, is the new women's champion. Congratulations, Willow. And
double champion. Remember, she's a double champion. She is the AEW Women's Tag Team Champion and one half of the Women's Tag Team.
Babes of Wrath, brother.
The Babes of Wrath.
And she beat Mercedes, and also she got pied, did Mercedes Moné this past week on AEW.
All right.
So,
probably not the first time she's been cream pied. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Got to get all beast on you, man, with some Morto style. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. Look it, man. We just got jokes. We got jokes for days.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do.
So we'll start with Paul again. Personally, I love it. It's long overdue. And if there's anybody to beat her, it's the woman that she originally beat for the title. So, Paul, your thoughts on Willow beating Mercedes?
You know what? I don't get to say this enough, and I know DC is probably going to be all like, what the hell? Did you flip? I have to admit, Mercedes Moné is growing on me. The worst part of her, because this character, as her downfall begins, is in its process of continuing. She is showing us so much. She is showing us exactly how to temper tantrum, how to throw these temper tantrums, how to make them work for her. And yes, she still has 7-8 more belts left to go, but still, her ultimate goal for Ultimate Monet is to be AEW Women's World Champion.
Yep.
And I think she may achieve it, or if anything, she may be the one to dethrone Athena.
Or Athena, okay. Ring of Honor.
Because I think that would be, as much as we would love to see her against Chris Statlander or whoever the AEW Women's Champion is, I think the ultimate of ultimate would be Athena, because Athena has nearly been that champion for 4 years.
And her finally losing it like that.
And her finally losing it to Mercedes probably would be amazing. So we may get that sometime later on this year, and I would be here for it.
I agree, since they do have history. I am in agreement with that. Mercedes did beat her last time. Dan, your thoughts on Monet losing to Willow Nightingale?
I think it was definitely the right call. Looking at it, I think eventually it's gonna end up being probably she's either gonna win the the AEW women's title or the Ring of Honor world title, or she's gonna win one of them, one or the other. And we all know how capable she is. There's no denying that. Where it goes from here, I think it's going to lead to a face turn, realistically. To see how she transitions to the face turn is going to be important.
Because if Athena is a heel right now, and you've already had them face each other a couple of times previously, one in the Owen Hart Memorial Cup, and you've had them face each other, for the Ring of Honor World title before too. So to have that happen, oh wait, no, they went after the TBS title. I think they also had a couple of other matches. I mean, you've had her there, and you've had them face each other. They were also a tag team for the tag team in the tag team tournament too. So given the opportunity, you could have Mercedes turn face, maybe at the end of losing all these titles. Hell, she could lose them over the next couple of months. By the time we get to Revolution, she could have already maybe lost all of them, and she may be without, and she could be on her downfall and want to come back up. And I think Revolution is like in May, I believe.
Yeah, Revolution's in March.
Oh, March.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Between now and March, you still got time to have Mercedes lose all these belts. So, and it's okay. So it's funny how they had the girl from Britain. Well, they were in England, right? And when they had that happen, yeah. So it would be cool if they bring over the women that she's lost, that she's beaten for those titles that she has from those other promotions. Bring somebody over to win the titles off of her, and take them back to where they were. But that would be cool.
So I would like to point out that in its existence, which the Ring of Honor title, women's title, has been around for about a little more than 5 years at this point.
Yeah,
there have only been 4 champions.
Kelly Klein.
Actually, no.
Okay. Who was the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion?
The inaugural was Roxy, which, Roxy.
Roxy, okay.
I wonder whatever happened to that girl, man. Jeez.
Oh, Kelly Klein. Yeah, Kelly Klein is the Women of Honor. I'm sorry. You're correct. Go ahead.
So Roxy, a.k.a. Roxanne Perez, dropped the title to Deonna Purrazzo.
Okay.
Who dropped it to Mercedes Martinez.
Yes. Mercedes Martinez was the other one.
Yes.
And then Athena's had it since December 10th of 22. So she's had it 3 years now.
3 years. Well, want to talk about somebody else who's held championships for a long ass time, multiple times.
Gunther.
Him too, yes. But distinctly on the NXT side, Obafemi had an amazing match, like we mentioned earlier at the top of the show, with Leon Slater this past week on NXT New Year's Evil. And then we saw at the end of the show, Ava was talking with the Evolve talent and the NXT talent. Robert Stone runs in and said, you got to see what Oba just did. The championship was in the middle of the ring, so Obafemi has vacated the NXT championship. And now we're going to see what they're going to do with the rest of the NXT roster. And looks like Obafemi is going to be on either Raw or SmackDown. I'm going to
go in Raw. I'm here. I've heard
Raw too. Yep.
I think Raw would be a good choice for him.
But your thoughts, and I'll start with you, Dan, on this one of Oba vacating. I got to tell you, hell of a run, but I can't wait to see what he does on the main roster.
I am beyond stoked, seeing how he has gotten over with the crowd. It's just been really, really cool to see,
Oh, yeah.
He's one of those guys who can get over as a face or a heel, like you just want to like the dude. And like, I'm looking forward to seeing him and Bronson Reed go at it.
Yes.
I'm waiting for a moment where Braun Breaker tries to spear him and Oba just kind of like No.
No.
I think it said they want to keep him like right near the top. Well, then I think when Dom comes back, Oba.
I like that. That would be cool.
Immediately for the IC title.
And he mollywops him.
And he just fall from grace 1, 2, 3. It's over.
I dig it.
I mean, not since the Vince McMahon walk has an entrance walk gotten over like the Oba walk.
Yep.
It's become a meme at this point.
So am I supposed to make it a meme? Because at this point, I mean, it's Oba,
So
the
Paul,
ruler.
The ruler. Are you have any thoughts on Oba?
Ruler.
The ruler. Any other final thoughts on Oba before we get to the final topic on his roster?
Let's get to this. You know what? He is the first NIL competitor or signee to become champion. Now he is literally the first NIL competitor to make it to the main roster. He is literally what, a three-time NXT champion.
Two-time NXT champion.
North American champion.
He's a North American champion. This man he was a breakout star of the year.
Yep.
He won the Soul Survivor match. But aside from that, he just has an aura about him. He just has that it factor that that we all know that we want to see in a lot of wrestlers. And for some apparent reason, dude, like Oba is just it. Oba is the ruler.
The ruler.
But he is phenomenal. And he looks like he just grasped everything that they were teaching him.
Only 2 years.
He is so beyond better than anybody ever thought he was going to be.
And he only had like a handful of matches. He was only in the company for 2 years, and look at him now.
But he's an athlete. He is one of those natural-born athletes. And he's one of those natural-born athletes that just came in and did his shit, and he worked. He worked his ass off, and look at where he's going to the main roster. More than likely, Raw. And this is for everybody. This is for all the talent that have been called up. Jordan Grace. We could talk about him. We could talk about Javon Evans. Oh my God,
21.
That was the disrespect of the year.
Signed during the commercial break.
They signed him during the fucking commercial break. That was horrible. That was so disrespectful.
Yeah. Well,
every so often a talent will come along and that you look at them and this person's special.
And that's Oba Femi.
Like Javon.
And Javon.
Oba. Like literally all of them. And at some point, I'm going to need to see Oba Femi versus Gunther.
It's going to happen. And I will be here for it with the popcorn when it does. And speaking of things when it does happen, which brings us to our final topic, something did happen that made us happy, that made us jolly, and we're talking about our boy Mick Foley. So Mick Foley, his recent thing that he said on his Instagram is that he stands with Jesse Ventura after Ventura's Donald Trump and ICE comments. I stand with Jesse, proud to see the great Jesse Ventura speaking out in Minnesota. I agree wholeheartedly with the body here, and I don't know if anyone could have said it better. We can't keep letting Trump and his gustless yes men lie to us over and over. America needs to be better than this. We have to move on from this era of domestic and international cruelty. I would encourage everyone to be like the former governor here and use your freedom of speech to stand against injustice. And that was Mick Foley saying what Jesse Ventura said, that we're a third world country now, talking about what happened at Minneapolis High School and ICE and everything that happened with what unfortunately happened with Miss Good passing away during the ICE attacks, and actually not even passing away, getting murdered right in front of our faces. It's just such a horrible time. And to see someone with such morals and standards like Mick Foley and someone like Jesse Ventura, who's even been so much outspoken against Trump and his regime, really does show. So Foley and Jesse Ventura working together, man. And I'll start with you, Paul. Your thoughts on Mick Foley's comments about Jesse Ventura and everything that's been going down.
I will say, tell me when I'm telling lies. Thank you, DC. It's amazing, so amazing that we got one who is a Republican,
that being Jesse
Ventura.
Yep.
Finally coming out and saying what everybody else has been thinking. We are literally living in a third world country now. They have degraded so many people, and they've literally downgraded all of us. Anybody who's watching us, you, me, that guy down there, this administration has literally took the reputation that we had, and he can sit here and blindly say, oh, well, that the reputation that we had prior to me becoming president was completely trash, or it was completely horrible. I say we were in good standing. Was it great? No. Was it phenomenal? No. Was it by any means of the stretch horrible like we have now? No. Were we having a Gestapo out there freaking trying to kidnap people? No. But they're out there and they're kidnapping people, and obviously what Jesse said was entirely true.
Yep.
Again, none of it was a lie. We got people out there kidnapping people off the street. We got those same people murdering people out on the street. Not only was Miss Renee Good
murdered,
or Nicole Renee Good.
Not Renee, different Renee. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, not only was Miss Good shot and killed in the middle of broad daylight with her partner basically videotaping it, and then you had two more people up in Portland who were shot also by ICE.
Yep. The kids at the Minneapolis school. Okay.
Yeah. And then, I mean, we can go on and on and on by so many just stupid reasons. And I get it. They're trying to pit all of us against each other.
We know.
They're trying to create this race war. I mean, yes, there is racism, but to make it such a blatant war against all of us, then this is a bunch of bullshit. But at the same time, I agree with everything that Mick Foley said. I agree with everything Jesse Ventura said. And this is somebody who fought in a war over in Vietnam, who was in a third world country.
Navy SEAL, baby.
And we're not like, the pumpkin fucking clown over there who didn't want to go, Mr. Bonespur, who didn't want to go.
Yeah.
I know. We could continue on with this. Go ahead, DC. You know what? You go ahead and rant.
Take it.
This whole... A lot of smarter people than I have more effectively weighed in on this tragedy. And I don't know what it's going to take at this point. I really and truly don't. That Jesse Ventura is out saying things publicly here.
Yeah.
That Mick is outright saying things here. Eventually, it's going to come to a point here where people aren't going to be able to turn a blind eye to things.
No.
And do I feel like it's slowly happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do. I just don't know. I
think a lot of people are slowly trying to get out of that cult, which is what it is. And if you get upset for me for calling it a cult, I don't care. I'm
Mike, not to cut you off. If you can't call it that and see how bad things are getting, then get your head out of the fucking sand, you dumb pieces of shit.
I was about to say, wait a minute. And then I realized, you're not talking to me. You're talking to the people. You're talking to the people.
Talking to me?
Talking to me? Talking to me?
Like,
No, okay. I agree. So for the people who don't think it's a cult, and for those that say it's not a cult, that means you're in a cult. For those who are slowly getting out of the cult mindset and realizing, first of all, good on you, but also number two, people like the three of us will look at you and go, we've been telling you this is going to happen. Or he flat out said he was going to do all of this and he didn't fucking listen. We're in a society now where we are so divided than we are united.
And it's by design.
And it's by design. And people like Mick Foley see it, and he doesn't want anything to do with WWE because of it and that association. Jesse Ventura, who is a Republican, like Paul mentioned and like Dan mentioned, has someone who was friggin' went after Donald Trump and everything with January 6th. He has someone that has fought against this administration because as someone who's been in office, he doesn't even know what the fuck this country is anymore. So you're going to see people like Jesse speak up. And also because it was in Minnesota and Jesse was the governor of Minnesota, you're going to look at people like Mick. And Mick has always thought like this. I go back to SmackDown Your Vote in 2004 when Mick Foley was representing John Kerry and JBL was representing George W. Bush at the time. So we know how Mick thinks. We know how Jesse is now. And good on him for both standing up and speaking and saying what needed to be said.
You know, the thing of it is, when you look at everything that is going on, there are better ways of handling illegal immigration than this.
Oh, yeah.
There are a lot better ways than this. Now, are we saying it's not an issue here? No one's saying that. Like, literally, nobody's saying that, there isn't an issue here.
Right.
But the problem is each side is so entrenched in their own ideals here.
Yep.
And it's by design. And
yeah, they want us to do harm to each other, and it's horrible. And
we're not.
And we're
That's
not.
Do you know why people come here illegally?
They want a better life, and the system
better life and opportunity. Yeah.
Okay, and now this is just kind of this is where the lines get blurred. Is that you get people who don't understand how hard it is to become a U.S. citizen. People don't understand that you're literally there for 10 fucking years trying to get a citizenship. Whereas in other countries, you're a citizen within 6 months. You're a citizen within a year. Why does it take so long for people to come here and become citizens? It's like you have to go through all these channels, all this stuff just to become a U.S. citizen. Right. Where you go to other countries, you can go to Australia right now and you could be a citizen in 3 months. In between 3 to 6 months, you could become a citizen of Australia. Canada, it's about the same amount of time. Because what they want you to do, and they want you to understand that you don't have to be you don't have to. I mean, if you have a criminal record, okay, that goes against you. But if you're coming here trying to better yourself, trying to better the life for your family, and you aren't coming here as some orange clown likes to say, oh, well, you're bringing your drugs, you're bringing this, you're bringing that. Not everybody is coming here for that.
No, they want a better life and better opportunity and to live the American dream.
Yes, exactly. And I'm glad I have friends like you two.
Yeah, we get it.
Who aren't, of my color or of my race, and you guys have more privilege than I do. But you guys are two people who don't look at my color and say, hey, guess what? I don't like you or I am against you. You guys are so open-minded. You guys have bigger hearts and more love for people who aren't like you than a lot of the people who are like you have that love for you. I know that kind of came off a little weird, but you understand what I'm getting, what I'm saying.
I think it people of a certain viewpoint and of a certain faith I think there's something that needs to be said. I'm going to say it right now. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 33-34 says, when a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as you love yourself, for you are foreigners in Egypt. I am the Lord your God.
Apparently they misrepresented that. Either that or they misunderstood it, because apparently they just dumb and stupid.
Okay.
At the end of the day, we are all just trying to get through the day. And like you said, 10 years. But no one wants to sit and talk about, how can we simplify the process? How can we do that? There has got to be a better way.
First off, I'm not cutting that out. Good.
We have some of the greatest minds in this country, and we can't come together and find a better way. Say what you will, I still believe in the idea of this country. I will never give that up. I love this country. My grandfather came over to this country from Scotland. I believe in it. I believe in the ideals of that. I believe this can be the greatest country in the world. I really do believe that. But there is nothing wrong with wanting a little bit better, wanting us to do better and be better. At the end of the day, one thing that we all struggle with as people is trying to be better than we were the day before.
So I will add to
that. I really do believe in that.
I do too. First of all, I wasn't laughing at what you were saying. I was laughing at the fact that I think that's the first time ever in this show that a Bible verse was ever quoted. And I'm keeping that in because that was great.
You talk about your Psalms and your John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, I'll just whoop your ass.
Thank you, Stone Cold. What? So to add on his point, for people who want to talk about Jesus and his teachings, they are so far against what Jesus is teaching. You do not love your neighbor. You want to judge and hurt your neighbor and divide our neighbors, which is not what the teachings and of the good book says, you stupid sons of bitches. And excuse my language, but that is so true and imperative. But also at the same time, too, much like Daniel said, I've had family come over from Italy and all over places that came to this country for opportunity and to live the American dream. That is definitely where we need to be, and that is the focus. Don't focus on what genitals that someone has between their legs. They focus on stuff that is just not privy to what we should be focusing on for a better economy and for better tools and resources for everything. So I think people need to actually stop the hate, more embrace the love, and also get back on a united front where we can meet and find some common ground and do something to make the country better instead of drive us all apart. And that has been my TED Talk. So thank you for listening to that. So with that being said, y'all,
life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If we don't get it, then what the hell are we here for?
Amen to all of that, my good brother. So with that being said, we hope you enjoyed this edition of the RWT podcast. We will be back very, very soon. This coming week, I will say first and foremost, is my mom's birthday week. So happy birthday, Mom. Early happy birthday. Mom. I love you. Hi, Mom. I love you, Mom. My mom's birthday is next week, so we are going to be having some good time.
And what day is that next week, sir?
January 16th, bruh.
And whose birthday is the day before your mother's?
Yeah. Right. Yes, I know. And happy birthday to you too, good sir. I know.
And also happy birthday to one Mr. Amir Costello, who has the same birthday as your mother.
I know. Happy birthday, Amir. Let me tell you something, bitch. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, early birthday to you as well, Doc, and to you too as
Doc,
well.
when the fuck you coming on our show?
Yeah, come on the show.
I know, right, Doc, man? You ain't ever doing anything, man. Look, it's a Saturday. I know you ain't out there pimping no hoes. Look, because I know Monica has you out probably running around going to get her snacks because she got your baby up in her.
Yes.
Man, you need to be able to look, man, you just need to come on the show. We'll be here. These two great guys will be here. And why don't you join us, sir?
Come on, Amir. Ish. So,
come on, the good doctor.
Come on, good doctor.
Are you in?
Is you in or is you out?
Yeah.
So with that being said, y'all, we hope you enjoyed the RWT podcast. We'll be back very, very soon. There's a lot to come. The Royal Rumble is at the end of the month from Saudi Arabia. Yeah. And we'll be talking about everything.
This is crazy. This is crazy. Not to end it like this, but this is crazy. This is like the first weekend we haven't had anything.
I know, right? Well, next week is Genesis from TNA.
Yeah, but that's next weekend.
Why do I feel like we're missing some kind of show? Like, are we?
I feel like we're just recording, and all we're doing, we're like missing a whole lot of stuff. And I'm sorry, but it just seems kind of weird.
And there's
like, are we sure there's not like a PLE or
No,
I know, man. All I'm watching is playoff football, so that's all I got.
Foosball.
It's
foosball.
Yeah, I mean, the Royal Rumble's not to the 31st, so right at the end of the month. So we have a few weeks. So with that being said, we hope you enjoyed this episode and the over 2 hour plus, as we all do.
First, I want to say, it's on a lighthearted note. With everything going on in the world today, if you need a moment to unplug and just to kind of step back, take care of yourself. You got to take care of your mental health. Make sure you're good. Do something you enjoy, whether that read a book, maybe watch an episode of your favorite show. Do something that's good for your mental health and take care of yourself, because you have to. And we've all had those moments. One thing you can do to relax is you can check out some of the fine programs that we offer here in our channels. I myself have the Pile Driver Pundit, recorded an episode today, which will have the all-new intro video done by Mr. Dazzy Lee at Max Wrestling. We will put a link down below. There's a cheap pop for him. My theme song was recorded by Mr. Robert Davis. Thank you to the both of them so much for all the help. It's stellar. It's amazing. Y'all gonna love it. Check it out. And Mr. Paul Morales, the dead man of RWT, the OG RWT, the big man, the boss man. What do you got going on?
I got such a lovely intro. Oh my God.
Right in the feels, man.
I know, right?
Man? That's how it's done.
Look, man, next week I reach level 50 in this world. I am so beyond blessed and thankful that I got to come to level 50. Also, if we don't record before then, happy birthday to my beautiful wife, who you guys got to see earlier. She's on the 21st. I am so beyond blessed to have her. But you can find me. Name is right there, the Dead Man of RWT. You can find my link tree down below to all my socials, and of course to this fine show and to these two amazing guys that I co-host with also. By the way, I love you guys. Thank you for always being my friends, and I'm happy that we get to do this every chance we get. And Mr. Michael Larkin, my brother from another mother, the podcast machine. Where can we find
an intro for him?
Well, yeah. Oh, you could do an intro for him too. I mean, might as well.
Okay, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to do an introduction to the podcast machine. You have seen him on such shows as the Max Wrestling Podcast. You have seen him on the LFC Podcast. You have seen him on the RWT Podcast, the weekly review for our old episodes. You have seen him appear on the Pile Driver Pundit. You have seen him on the Uncaged Podcast. You have seen him anywhere and everywhere that is worth seeing somebody. You have seen him also on Kicking It with the TSK.
And Pornhub.
referring to the one, the only, the podcast machine, Michael Larkin. Paul Heyman, eat your fucking heart out.
I love that. Again, like, see, now I'm even hyped to even do this. All right, here we go. All right, now, if you want to follow me on Twitter at SMShow1 or MCL92, Instagram, Larkin_92, MLarkinMB, StephenMikeShow.com, LFCfights.com. Check out the S&M Network shows, which features a new episode of the Stephen Mike Show, this new episode of the RWT podcast, which will be out this week, as well as Uncaged Season 6, Episode 1, where Daniel and I talk about NXT 2.0 and NXT Onward Now into 2026, and a whole lot of wrestling talk. You also get deep into the heart of wrestling with myself, the Demoness Nicola McDonald, and Robert Davis. You get the LFC podcast, you get On the Mic with Mike, and you get a whole dosage of just good variety and also great people recording everything that they love and that they're passionate about in this fine, fine world. So with that being said, subscribe to S&M Network shows. And for Daniel Crimmins, for the RWT Deadman Paul Morales, my name is Mike Larkin, the podcast machine, and we will see you next time. Paul, go eat some donuts.
I will go eat some donuts.
And happy birthday to your wife. Early birthday to your wife. And happy birthday, early birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mom. Happy birthday, Amir. Happy birthday, our boy Moneymaker Chris Durham. And just happy joy, happy joy. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Mama Larkin.
Thank you, bro.